Did you know that we have channel memberships now? If you'd like to help support this channel, get some exclusive Kawabana emotes to use in the comments, as well as an exclusive badge by your name, click that join button now to find out more. Every bit of support really helps. Thanks guys. This week's mystery is a fairly recent one, so let's head right on in. Starting in January this year, mysterious threads started popping up all over Go Channel with the title Menoshi, which roughly translates to I poem or I poetry. These threads contain nothing but links to numerous images that, to be honest, didn't make a lot of sense. For example, one was a blank page with the number 8 drawn in various coloured crayons. Another appeared to be a scan of a newspaper with a made-up kanji scribbled in red and black over the top, with hints of black stick figures underneath. Yet another had badly formed hiragana drawn in crayon, while another featured red and black stick figures, also drawn in crayon, that had been smudged before scanning. The sheer amount of images shared makes it impossible to show all of them here, but at a glance they were both creepy and confusing. The main themes that most images shared in common were old newspaper articles, letters and objects scribbled in crayon or pen, and stick figures. Other than that, the only thing that you could say they have in common is that they didn't have anything in common. Naturally, other users were confused and somewhat freaked out by these threads. Some wondered if they were being cursed. Others wondered if the original poster was okay. Most just wanted to know what on earth was going on. Why was this person sharing endless confusing images on Go Channel? Was there some hidden meaning behind the posts? Why did he title them all I Poetry? Was this a look into a broken mind, or perhaps somebody's art project? The strange I Poetry threads were picked up by the Occult Forum on February 7, when it was shared in a thread titled, "Let's find creepy Go Channel threads and investigate them." Yet several weeks passed without any real answers. Nobody could figure out who it might be and why they were doing it. It wasn't until February 28th that someone on an entirely different board linked the strange images to Kaneko Yuki, a musician. A YouTube video posted in 2013 promoting his upcoming album matched the style of these strange images exactly. I'll leave a link in the comments if you want to check that out for yourself. But if these strange images really were connected to this particular musician, who only released that one album back in 2013, then why? How were they connected, and why were the images being shared almost a decade later? It's unlikely they were promotion for an 8-year-old album, and the artist hasn't come out with anything new recently either. He currently works as a music producer, but hasn't put out anything else as a solo musician. However, it is interesting to note that Kaneko himself referred to the album as poetry, and the songs on it are essentially poetry read out loud, while harsh beats play in the background. In an interview held in 2014, the interviewer remarked that Kaneko, as an artist, seemed somewhat fed up with the mass media's handling of social issues and artists' inabilities to use black humour and erotic, grotesque nonsense in the modern age. So, with this in mind, could it be possible that the I Poetry being posted around various forums on Go Channel was actually being done by Kaneko himself? Or at the very least, someone inspired by him? As with most things on Ni Channel and its many variants, there's always a chance, sure. But unless he comes out specifically to say that it was him, we may never know. It's a possibility, yeah, but the large gap from Kaneko's album of eclectic poetry in 2013, until now, almost a decade later, just makes matters even more confusing. Another possibility brought up by several users was that the poster was actually a webmaster by the name of Kappa. They drew parallels in the pictures to the strange art he used to post on a website that is sadly no longer accessible, although several screen captures of it are still floating around. But here's where things get interesting again. It turns out that one of the images on Kappa's website matches exactly an image that Kaneko shared on his Instagram last year. Were Kaneko and Kappa actually the same person? GoChannel certainly thought so. Another user discovered that one image in particular shared similarities to the cover of Shinsei Toshi, a poetry collection by Suzuki Shiroyasu. Tweets were found on Kaneko's Twitter from back in 2013, where he spoke of his deep admiration for Suzuki's work. Could it be a coincidence? Of course. The similarities are striking, especially when combined with everything else, but at the end of the day, both images are a collection of lines and scribbles. Other users pointed out that Kaneko's antics on social media, Twitter in particular, are often hard to decipher, and in polite terms, called him a madman. Considering the way he uses his public profile, would it really be that hard to put it past him to then post all of these images anonymously to perhaps stir up some drama? Or maybe just kill some boredom? When you look at the whole picture, it's certainly a good possibility. One or two coincidences are easy to brush away, but when they keep mounting, it's not hard to assume there's a fire behind the smoke. At present, this mystery technically remains a mystery, because nobody has ever stepped up claiming to be the person posting the images. This user never once responded to any comments or questions, and the only thing they ever posted was links to images across entirely unrelated forums on GoChannel in January and February 2021. Through serious detective work, users banded together and, several weeks later, determined that it was likely the work of Kaneko. But in the end, there's no definitive proof. Either way, the saga of the eye poetry is a good reminder that it's hard to pull a fast one on GoChannel. Merely through links to strange pictures with no identifying information, users were able to connect them to a music producer who may or may not have moonlighted as an artist of the absurd on the internet roughly a decade earlier as well. Was he truly responsible for these images? We can't say for certain, but the open-ended nature of these mysteries with a tantalizing hint of what could potentially be is generally what makes them so interesting to begin with. But what do you guys think about this one? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.